Pit Boss Burn Off New Pro Series Elite. The Pro Series 1600 is Pit Boss's most innovative and advanced pellet grill to date. So grab a bag of pellets and a can of Pam, Brian. We're gonna amplify some backyard barbecue fun. All of the Pit Boss Pro Series models are an exclusive at Lowe's, and that's where I picked up my 1600 Elite. Doing the burn off is a very important procedure that you have to do every time you get a new pellet grill. You wanna make sure that you're burning out any of the oil or impurities from the manufacturing process. If you just finished up the assembly of the 1600, don't put any of the cooking components inside the chamber, because you want to make sure that you check visually that all the electrical components are working and that auger is spinning before it's time to fire it up. So let's get all of this stuff out of the chamber. Grab out our top rack, middle, and this big beast of a bottom rack. Next, we got to take off the handle, flip that little lever up, then take your handle, rotate it down, grab the heat deflector, pick it up, get it into an angle, and get it out. Just be careful when you take out your heat deflector. Remember, this top cover isn't connected. You want to make sure that your fire pot is empty, there's nothing obstructing it. And if you remember during the assembly, I pulled off the fire pot and took off that piece of paper. Make sure that you take that off, because you don't want it to catch on fire. And we'll also take out the heat diffuser. You can unravel the cord off the back of the hopper, plug it in. Now press the power button, and you want to listen and make sure that you can hear that the auger is turning. Then put your hand above the fire pot and make sure that you feel some air movement. I feel air moving. After about 5 minutes, you're gonna start feeling some warm air. But that igniter rod, I know that it says on the instruction book that it's not supposed to be glowing red, but mine is. Now that you've verified everything is working correctly, power it down. Hold the button down for 3 seconds. Now it's gonna go into the shutdown mode, and you gotta wait for about 5 minutes. While this is shutting down, it's a perfect time to grab your leaf blower, blow out the inside. Now after it's shut off, check out and make sure there's nothing obstructing that auger. Grab a bag of pellets and fill up your hopper. Turn the power back on again, and hold the prime button down until you start hearing and seeing some of those pellets plinking and plunking in that fire pot. Now again, turn off the power. While this thing is shutting down, grab your Pam and start spraying down your cooking components. Grab our handle out of the way and get our diffuser back in. Get both sides of your deflector sprayed down and get a nice coat on here, because it just makes cleanup a lot easier. Get this back in the pit. Same thing, grab your handle, tuck it up on the side, so you can get this deflector in, spray down this cover for the flame broiler, put it back in and make sure you line up these pegs. The holes are right there. Get it on, and don't forget to hook up your handle. Now I'm just gonna spray a light coat inside the chamber. Get back in the corner, get a little bit back on that 304 stainless along these sides. You're gonna develop a real patina looking color on this pit as it runs. The racks, we're not spraying these down, we're just gonna put them right in the pit. And I'm gonna point out that these are the oven style grates, which is awesome because they hook in. You got this peg, and when you pull your grate all the way out, you got something to catch it. So that way this grate stays in the pit and it has a less of a chance of falling out and wrecking your cook. Turn the power back on, but leave the lid open until the white smoke is gone. Those pellets in the fire pot are just starting to catch because we got a little bit of white smoke coming out. Okay, when you hear that fan kick in, it's starting to really ignite those pellets. Let's turn this up to 300 degrees. And you can see right there, this pit has 5-degree increments. Once you hit your temp that you want, press the button again. This is the smoke that I was talking about, and you might have just heard that igniter kick into gear. We're starting to burn clean, so let's close up the lid. The manual says that you can do the burn off at 350 degrees, but because of my experience in the past, I always like to break it in slowly. So I'll bring you back in about 30 minutes. My 30-minute timer went off, but before I go any further, I have to say this thing is incredibly quiet. There's not a lot of noise. And you can see that we're getting smoke from the back, and that's where your exhaust is. But I am gonna have to get an adapter for my donger because I'm spoiled. I'm not used to cooking in the cold anymore. Now I'm gonna turn the Elite up to 400 degrees. Push the button in, and we're gonna just turn it right up to 400. press it one more time. Now when I do my first cook, I'll actually put some probes inside this pit to see how long it takes to get to the desired temp. I will say that the Elite heats up a lot quicker than the original 1600. Set a timer for another 30 minutes. My 30-minute timer went off. Let's go ahead and shut down this 1600 Elite. Just hold the power button on for about 3 seconds. And now it's gonna go into the shutdown cycle, and that means that the auger is gonna stop feeding any pellets. The remaining pellets in the fire pot are gonna burn off, and the fan is gonna run until the pit is cooled down. Let's take a look and see if we developed any patina inside this pit. This pit is stainless steel, but we still developed a little bit of patina on both sides. You certainly can see that the heat deflector has developed some good color. Like most pellet grills, the right side is a little darker than the left side, but it's gonna continue seasoning up the more that I use this pit. The shutdown process only took about 5 minutes. The auger motor, it's brushless, so that's what's helping us keep that noise level down. We have a 32-pound hopper, and that's easily big enough to do an overnight cook. And like on the other models, you have a glass window so you can see where your pellet level is at. It has a PID, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi controller with VST, and that stands for Variable Smoke Technology. I'll do a standalone video on the Elite's controller and talk about the VST and some of the new features that this pit has to offer. We have locations for 4 meat probes. Pop them off and plug them in. The Pro Series 1600 will run from 150 degrees all the way up to 500 in 5-degree increments. The lid and most of the equipment inside is made out of 304 stainless steel. The 1600 has 1,597 square inches of cooking space. A huge feature to me, and I know a lot of the rest of you that have watched my videos, we have stainless steel grates. No more diamond-coated porcelain grates. After running over an hour, these grates have collected hardly any ash. And it's hardly collected any ash on the bottom shelf. The chamber, it's double walled, and I think that the lid is actually insulated. It has a heavy-duty lid gasket, and it wraps all the way around it. The side shelves all drop down and fold away for storage. And that's a great thing to have when you have a tight space, because this pit takes up a big footprint. All 4 casters lock, and they spin in 360 degrees, which makes moving this pit a breeze. It has a rack hanger which will hold one of your racks. It has adjustable damper, so you can move it to the right, it's wide open, to the left, it's closed somewhat. On the clean out handle, it has a nice little place to wrap your cord. In the clean out, it's a little bit different. On this one, you pick it up, pull it out, and get rid of all your pellets. And to close it back up, you just lift it and push. Now I know a lot of you are gonna ask me this question, so I'm gonna answer it now. Do I feel that the Elite is worth the price increase over the standard 1600? Yes, and here are my reasons. Number 1, those stainless steel grates are a big improvement over the previous 1600. I had a couple of the pit bosses with the porcelain coated grates, and they were just a lot harder to clean and keep maintained. Plus they wiggled all over the place when you were cooking on them. Number 2, the Elite gets up to temp a lot faster. I didn't time it, but I certainly have had enough experience on the original 1600 to tell you it's a lot quicker. I'll set a timer on my first cook and we'll find out then. And number 3, the updated controller with more features and being able to adjust your temperatures in 5-degree increments, that's certainly worth it. You can even adjust the smoke settings and have different P levels. No, I'm not talking about how much beer you drink when you're cooking and how many times you have to take a leak. I'm talking about the P settings. All you pit boss people know about that. Now the next time you see me on the Pro Series 1600 Elite, we're gonna be doing a brisket. Well, that's all I got. Roll with me. Oh, that's right, we don't have a nickname for it yet. Well, it doesn't have a stack. Let's name it Leah.